challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Roy Fairman.
What is your name, please?
My name is Roy Fairman.
What is your name, please?
My name is Roy Fairman.
Follow along with this affidavit, if you will, panel. I, Roy Fairman, am a student at Gettysburg High School in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I am also a golf caddy at the Gettysburg Country Club. I often caddy for President Eisenhower. This past summer, I made the nation's newspapers when the president tipped me $5 for not caddying for him. Signed, Roy Fairman. Three young men all claiming to be Roy Fairman, President Eisenhower's caddy. Let's begin this round of questioning with Don Amici. Don?
Number 2, what is the president's handicap?
He has no handicap.
Number 3, what's his handicap?
He doesn't have any.
Number 1, what's a double bogey?
2 over par.
Number 3, how far does the president about hit a full wood? Number 2?
About 200 yards.
Number 3?
About 150 yards.
Number 1, who plays often with the president?
George Allen, General Nevins, and Dick Slichter, the Country Club pro.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 2, how come he tipped you $5 for not caddying for him?
Well, it was on a Sunday, and I went to church, and, well, he saw me in church, and he left right away, and I couldn't get to the club before he got there, and he had already teed off when I arrived, and then I took somebody else, and then when he came in, he gave me the $5.
I see. That's a lovely story. Number 2, do you play golf? Number 3, do you play golf?
Yes, once in a while I do.
What do you shoot?
I shoot a 95.
Number 1, do you ever advise the president what kind of a club to use?
Yes.
What do you tell him?
He asks you what club to use, and then he suggests one. If you think he's right, well, you give him the club.
You can bet you agree with the president. Bob?
I'm curious. Number 3, I don't want you to reveal any state secrets or anything, but what does the president say when he misses a shot?
Well, he just seems to count to 10.
That's our president.
Backwards, 10, 9, 8.
Number 1, where did Pudge Willard finish in the Masters last year?
About 9th, I think.
Number 2, what is your Gettysburg address? No, I mean, where do you live in Gettysburg?
RFD3.
RFD.
There you are. Polly.
I didn't get it.
Number 1, when playing golf, is there any particular reason why you always yell 4 instead of, say, 6 or 5?
I don't think.
They just pick that number at random. Number 2, what is a foot mashie?
That's when, well, we don't use that too much, and that's when the ball goes in the rough and you just, kick it out.
I knew, because I'm there quite often. Number 3, is there any such thing as a club that comes in fractions? In other words, 7.5?
No, there isn't.
That's it. Time to vote once again, no fractions. Please mark your ballot. And as you do, vote for number 1 1/4, 2 7/8, and 3 1/2. All right, everybody voted?
Yes.
Molly, whom you vote this time?
Well, to begin with, I think they're all too young to be taught to lie. That's my opening. But I voted for number 1. They are all handsome young men, and I wish I could take them home with me, because my 2-year-old would just adore them. But I think it's number 1 because he's very quiet, and I've got to go back to that because I'm not doing too well tonight.
John, your vote, please.
I voted for number 1. He seemed to know all the answers, but so did the rest of them, I must say. This is pure guess, I'm sure.
Kitty?
Well, I voted for number 3. I think they're all enchanting, and they all are obviously golfers. But I think it's number 3.
And Bob?
Well, no, I never heard of Pudge Willard, number 1. And,
Why didn't you tell me?
I'm more convinced about number 2, but I voted for number 3. They're all nice guys.
Okay, there we have it. We've made our selections. Hope you have yours. It's kind of fun to play at home, Let's find out which one of these 3 young men is really President Eisenhower's caddy. So may I ask the real Roy Fairman to please stand up. Thank you, Roy. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you do, please?
Well, my name is Bill Staley. I go to Rutherford Junior High School, and I never was a caddy in my life.
And now, as for number 3.
My name is Harold Backman. I'm a male model, and I attend Archbishop Malloy High School.
Thank you, son. Yes, you have a question.
Have a moment. May I
Sure,
ask
Bob.
number
Go
1,
ahead.
why did you answer on this name I made up?
I'll tell you why. Just speaking for him, it was a good enough name so that in thinking over that fine print on those lists, I think I would have guessed the same thing. It really sounded quite legitimate. Is
You
that
really
what threw
threw me
you, son?
off. Good boy.
I kind of thought it did. It sounded like a really legitimate name. You and your golfing friends. Any other questions you want to ask these gentlemen? You want to ask them if they want to go home with you, Polly?
Yeah. I have a 13-year-old named Kathy and a 2-year-old who's a little young, but I think we could split the 3 of you up pretty well.
Boys, you want to go home with Polly?
Number 1, don't they have half...
Wait a minute. I thought you made a deal with number 1.
Oh, he's not going to take you up. You know that.
What did you want to ask, Don?
Don't they have half numbers in clubs anymore?
Oh, really? Not even the pros? They don't have the 7 and
Well,
They do after you do a
of
bad
the, in
shot.
some of the, I think Rawlings makes some woods that have a 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5.
Actually, the only fractions left now are in the foot mashes. It depends on your arch. That's about as far as we can go tonight, boys. Hope you had a good time being with us. Let's check on your score now and see what we have. 2 incorrect answers or votes at $250 each for a total from the Tony Company of $500. Not a bad caddying fee, I think you'll agree. And for each of the Tony Company has a special gift of all the wonderful Tony products. Thanks so much for being with us. Good night. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, except I just got to say how bustin' proud I was of you in that spectacular the other night, Polly.
Oh, thank you.
You
very
were
much.
awful good. We enjoyed it thoroughly. That's about it, panel, but I had to say that. Good night to you.
Good night.
Good night, Bud.
And this is Bud Cartier, of course, saying good night on behalf of the Tony Company and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Cotton production in association with the CBS television network. Miss Bergen's Dog by Wilma.